Hey race fans, it's race day top 5 with me, Frank 5. The Magic Mile always produces flat track PJ1 substance and sometimes some exciting racing, especially when the playoffs are a couple of weeks away from getting underway at Las Vegas. And the big three are proving once again they are the teams to beat. And two of them had a mad dash to the finish with Busch beating Rowdy. Number one, Kevin Harvick, who I don't even really think I had to put him in as far as a contender to win the race based on how he was earlier in the race, was able to step up and win the Foxwoods Casino 301 at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway over Kyle Busch, Eric Almirola, Martin Truex Jr., and Chase Elliott. Harvick, like I said, he was literally way far behind as far as running up front and not even being a contender. I mean, he was like a top 10 car, but it wasn't a winning car until like the last half of stage 3. He started to pick it up and started to put him down as far as passing other guys for positions and challenged Kyle Busch in a frantic finish towards the end where Harvick was getting closer to the back bumper of the 18 car and was like preparing. I kept saying, get to him, pull the bump and run. I know people are saying flat track, if you pull it, bump and run, you're probably going to knock him into the wall. Well, in the middle of the corner where it's really slow, you could probably do that. Going into the corner, you're gonna wreck somebody, and that's not the way to do it. Middle of the corner, you got to do it when it's really, really flat, and even with that PJ1 substance, whether it's the bottom or the top groove where you're racing for the lead, you got to do it. And Harvick did that against Kyle Busch, and got a standing ovation from the crowd, and I thought that was an exciting finish, even though, I know people are sick and tired of seeing, the big three win, but, seeing them battle for the win together, I think it's a pretty exciting thing for the sport, and I thought it was exciting as well. I mean, I was cheering for Harvick, but I still thought it was a good result nonetheless as far as the racing for the win at the end. It was pretty exciting. Number 2, Kyle Busch, second place. He was like Harvick. He was, I think, maybe a little bit behind Harvick in the middle of the race, guys. Kyle Busch didn't really have a winning car. I mean, it was like Chicagoland a few weeks ago where Kyle was like a top 15 car the entire day, and all of a sudden towards the end they found the right adjustments and got him into a contention. And he was able to win the race against Kyle Larson. That exciting finish, perhaps the best finish of the 2018 Cup season. This one finish, obviously, is going to be up there as well between Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick. You've had their problems in the past, especially you look back at Darlington, 2011, when Harvick was with RCR, and they kind of didn't get along and led to a Kyle Busch RCR feud with those guys and Kevin Harvick. But Kyle Busch respected Harvick in the way he raced him. He said, I race guys the way they race me. And, he wasn't, he was upset that he didn't win, obviously. And, to turn the car around for being, it was a top 10 car, it wasn't a winning car. To turn that around and have a chance to win despite being bumped out of the way in the middle of the corner towards the end with about 10 laps to go, that's some driver that Kyle Busch is. I will give him credit for that. Number 3, Eric Almirola. My heart goes out to every Eric Almirola fan out there. I mean, listen, Almirola is having the year of his life since he came to Stewart-Haas. One lap from winning the 500, got bumped by Dillon, not on purpose though. Was really strong in Chicagoland. Unfortunately, they had 2 loose wheels, one in the middle of stage 2, and one towards the end of stage 3, which ultimately resulted in a 26th place finish a lap down. And that late in the game is really hard to get back up to the front. He literally had the best car in stage 3, and I thought he was going to walk away with this win. Unfortunately, a late caution for his teammate, Clint Bowyer, came out, and that affected Almirola, and he had a slow stop. And on the bottom lane was not the place for restarts. On the last restart of the day, Harvick, was in front of him, but Harvick didn't jump up, mess up the bottom lane. Almirola spun the tires and lost all his track position. He ultimately rebounded to finish third. I'll give him credit, a great race for Almirola. But the thing is, though, he's closing in on a win this year for Stewart-Haas, and I think, honestly, guys, he is going to go to probably round of 12, maybe in the round of 8, based on how he's been this year. He's having the career year. I mean, 2014 and 2015, Richard Petty Motorsports, were good years for him. I mean, 2014 won Daytona. The last 2 years, not been good at all. And for Eric Almirola to go to Stewart-Haas Racing and say, I'm disappointed to finish third is an understatement, saying they are determined to win races. And I think they are going to win races. I think they can win before the playoffs. Heck, maybe I could throw him as a long shot to make the Final 4. You never know, especially with how strong Stewart-Haas equipment has been this year. Why not throw Almirola into the equation? I throw him in as a wild card to get in people. Number 4, Kurt Busch, who was the pole sitter, and I thought had the best car all day long, was so strong. He didn't win any of the stages, but Kurt Busch was like the beginning of stage 3 until the middle portion of stage 3. Kurt Busch was the car to beat. Unfortunately, on the last green flag pit stop before the Clint Bowyer caution, Kurt Busch had a slow miscommunication. He was coming in his pits, and Ryan Blaney, who also had a really good race car, was still in there. And Kurt was like, okay, who's going to go first? Am I going to go first and you just come up behind me? Or are you going to go first and then I just go in after you leave? Miscommunication there cost Kurt Busch the win, and he got shuffled back on the restart, but rebounded to finish 8th. But I know some Kurt Busch fans are thinking, what could have been, even if the caution hadn't come out and he hadn't had that problem. Kurt Busch could have won the race. We'll never know. But still, it was a good day for Kurt Busch, nonetheless, like Almirola and Harvick. Bowyer obviously did not get quite the finish up for him. And number 5, Denny Hamlin, who last year won the race and starting the success that Toyota has after they got the new body, with the exception of Martin Truex winning. He was not a factor yesterday. He started in the top 5. He was there for a few laps, and then when guys stayed out in the middle of stage 1, towards the end of stage 1 on pit strategy to try and get some stage points, he got shuffled to the back, and he could really never get back to the top 10. He finished 13th. That's uncharacteristic for the guy who was like flinching last year, just like, holding the Lobster trophies, just like, ugh. He was like that. He hates lobster. He hates seafood and that stuff. But, that kind of was surprising to me yesterday to see Denny Hamlin finish 13th. Nothing you can do about it. Just didn't fix the car properly. That's all I could say about that. Finally, Chase Elliott. I would have never given him a plug nickel to finish 5th place at Loudon. He doesn't really like Loudon, New Hampshire, Chase Elliott. He doesn't like the track. It's flat. Yeah, he doesn't really like that track. But yesterday, he put up the best performance. I think the best performance all year by the 9 car. I know they finished second at Richmond, but this was by far the best performance I've seen in the 9 car this season. They ran in the top 5 pretty much the majority of the race. We won stage 2 and got some much-needed stage points, and we finished 5th. And he was really surprised at the end of the day, as well as I was. But I'm sure somewhere he was probably saying, that's how it's supposed to be for us in Hendrick Motorsports. We are making strides. We are turning ourselves in the right direction. We just got to keep this momentum. I don't think this finish was a fluke. I hope we can carry that momentum next week into Pocono. But I couldn't be happier. Even though we're 15th in the point standings, it still was a good finish for the 9 car. So coming up is Pocono, the tricky triangle, and we all saw Martin Truex Jr., who wasn't really the dominant car there earlier a month ago. He still had potential to win. He won the race, and I think he's got the potential to win here. But can he stop the defending winner of this race from a year ago, Kyle Busch? Can he stop Kevin Harvick? And will someone jump into the equation as far as winning races, like Bowyer, Larson, or even Almirola, or Kurt Busch, or what we saw? Heck, maybe even Chase Elliott, or somehow throw Jimmy Johnson in there. I mean, he finished 10th place yesterday. So anything is possible when you go to the tricky triangle, but maintain your track position. So in the meantime, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to like. Congrats to Harvick. Enjoy that big fat lobster, and I'll see you next week at Pocono.